Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Ask Coach Marie. I'm Marie O'Neill, founder of Padma Life Coaching, and your host on this series. This is the place where you ask a question and I give my unique opinion as a life renewal coach, astrologer, and past life regression facilitator. Please know that I am not a therapist and I will never tell you what you must do. Each week on Friday, a new video is released with me answering 2 questions from the viewers. I also talk about various other life renewal topics. Let's get started with the questions for this week. All right. Our first question comes from Lynn, who is in Austin, Texas. Lynn writes, "My kids love playing video games and spend most of their time on the computer. I'm getting concerned about their brains. Some of the studies I've read say too much time playing games isn't good for the kids. Do you have an opinion about this?" Thank you for asking that question, Lynn. My viewpoint is you as the parent, of course, have to make that decision on what is best for your kids. If you feel that they are spending too much time on the computer, then I would say that they are. For other parents, maybe they don't feel that their kids are spending too much time in front of the computer. It's all up to the parent. Now, that said, I have read some of those studies too in articles, and I have no idea, honestly, whether or not kids spend too much time in front of the computer. My thought is, however, that kids do need time outside or with their friends in person versus being on the computer. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be on the computer at all. It's just that it's always a good idea if there can be a variety of ways that kids are entertained. Maybe take them to movies or play board games or tennis, something that is active for them because they are growing. They do need exercise. I do know with computer that it can affect the eyes. I know that because I'm on the computer a lot and I tend to wear glasses that have blue light in them so that the light from the computer isn't damaging the eyes. I would suggest that if you feel, as I said, that your kids are spending too much time in front of the TV, you need to come up with other ways for them to play and have enjoyment. And there's plenty of ways out here. I've mentioned a few, but I'm sure that you have other ideas. So send me a note. Let me know how you got on with this. And I look forward to hearing from you about this. Comment below too. And for those of you who are listening to this video, comment below on your thoughts. Do you feel that kids are spending too much time in front of the computer playing video games? And if so, why do you feel that way? Let's move on to the topic for today. Our topic are astrological cycles. This is something that a lot of people are not aware of, especially if you're not an astrologer. And when I'm saying cycles, I'm looking at cycles of time, and it's based on the sun, and it's based on the other planets and how long it takes those planets to orbit around the sun and come back to the same position it was in at the time of your birth. For example, let's take the planet Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion. It's going to expand whatever it touches. It's also the planet of higher thought, of truth, of religion, questing. It's that energy. Every 12 years, Jupiter gets back to the position it's in when you were born. So if you know when you were born, you can look in an ephemeris and see where Jupiter was, and it's going to be in a particular sign. And that's going to give you attributes for you for how you expand, how you get joy, how you like to have fun and that sort of thing. Think about 12 years old. Think back to when you were 12. What was going on with you? You would have been going through probably puberty, I would say, becoming a teenager. That's 12. And then at 24, and then at 36, think about what was going on with you. Well, this is one of the cycles, astrological cycles, that we all deal with by age. I'll just go through a couple of them for you here just so that you get the gist of what I'm referring to. There is a Saturn cycle, which I'm sure most of us have heard about. That cycle is 29 years. So at 29, you're going through what's called a Saturn return. I like to say it happens between 28 and 30, even though it's a specific time, but you're feeling it before the age of 29. And then the effects of it, you're feeling it at 30. At least that's, I was also feeling it at 30. So Saturn is the planet of maturing. So that's when you are being asked to mature and be an adult, not until you're 29. Isn't that interesting? Before that, you are trying to figure out what you want to do, what you want to be when you grow up. You're getting your education. You may get married at 29 or maybe before. Maybe you're having children or you buy your first house. The point is you're being asked to mature and be an adult. And then at 58, 59 years old, around that time, you're going to go through a second Saturn return. You've had your career, you're getting close to maybe the end of your career, or you're getting ready to shift your career, or you're being asked now to become the elder, or at least start working on becoming the elder. What are you going to be as an old lady or an old man? Then you have another Saturn return at 84. That is a different cycle for you. That cycle is about endings. That's one cycle. Another cycle is Jupiter. What was going on with you when you were 42 years old? That's a crisis point, usually. If you're not on track, and also in a Saturn cycle, if you're not on track with where you need to be for your development, you'll be given signs through stress, through how your life is maybe not working, so that you can tweak certain aspects of your life. But there are a few cycles that we look at as astrologers when we're working with our clients. If a client comes to me and they're a certain age, I do, of course, look at their age, and that's going to tell me a lot about what they are going through. It doesn't tell me the specifics of what they're going through, but it's going to tell me the energy of what they're going through. So sometimes people think that they're going crazy, and they're not. They're just going through a particular cycle. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. So let's move on to the next question, which comes from Donna, who is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Donna says, I'm getting ready to purchase a home, and a friend suggested I consult an astrologer to help me choose the right home. Is this true? Can astrology help me decide which home to buy? Good question, Donna. As far as helping you choose the right house to buy, astrology can help you to a point. What astrology is good at is helping you with timing. It can look at what we call astrocartography, which is a mapping system to look at the energies you're going to experience in a certain area of the city or a certain area of the world or country. When it comes to which house to buy, my suggestion is for you to contact a feng shui practitioner. And when I say feng shui practitioner, I'm not talking about someone who just read a book. I'm talking about somebody who has been professionally trained in one of the schools that teach feng shui. Make sure you're not working with someone who has no credentials. That's the bottom line. What they will do is, if there's a house you're looking at, if you can send them the schematic or at least the tour of the home, they can look at it from the standpoint of energy. They've got a bagua that they use, which has, I believe, 8 corners, but each bagua represents a certain part of the house. For example, the career section, the children's section, the spirituality section, and they can look at the direction that the front door faces. They have a wonderful capability of letting you know if that house is right for you or not. They can also let you know if there's some issues with the house. They can tell you what the corrections can be. For example, when I was with one of the houses that I had a fireplace in the heart of the house. Well, I needed to put plants there, a certain number of plants to mitigate the energy of that fireplace. There's some other things that can be done as far as corrections. So, as I said, my thought is check with a feng shui practitioner. There are some really good feng shui schools out here where you can work with practitioners. But with astrology can certainly help you with the timing of buying that house. It can help you with figuring out the area of town in a particular city that would be good to look in to purchase a house, depending on what you want to experience. I mean, if you're working on your career versus you're retired, you may need to be in a different part of the city. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. Please comment below. This is the final question for today. So thank you everyone for listening to and watching this video. I really appreciate you watching the material and commenting. Send your questions to me. Send them to me at padmacoach@icloud.com. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and spread the video. Send it to your friends and colleagues and people who you believe will benefit from listening to this video. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.